I'm just playing around with some camera settings, guys. So try and get set up for the stream. I'm just playing around with some camera settings, guys. So try and get set up for the stream. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Trying to figure out an angle to videotape me. Um, trying to figure out an angle to videotape me spinning for the stream. Spinning for the stream. Let's see. It's a little bit better. I'm plying yarn. It's a little bit better. I'm plying yarn. I think that'll be a good angle. Applying anyway. I think that'll be a good angle. Applying anyway. What are you up to, Hila? Right now I'm not spinning. Right now I'm plying yarn that's I already spun. So I'm taking a one ply of yarn, which is this section right here that's coming off the bobbin. So I'm taking this and I'm turning it into a 3-ply of yarn. See, so it becomes a true yarn. The more plies of yarn you have, the rounder the yarn is. And so I'm spinning counterclockwise from the way I spun it to do the ply. That way you don't add too much twist and get a kinkier yarn. I need to I guess I need to get my tripod out, because if I had a tripod up and I have to get an extension USB cable for my webcam. I'm gonna try this using my cell phone too. Um, See how it looks with the cell phone. Hey Vixen, how are you? Yes, it's a very nice rhythm that you get. Very relaxing. You got the man watching the kids, Vixen. You guys got any questions? You're being a wife and a mother. That's all the fun you need, girl. That's so much excitement. A lot of people can't handle that. Yes, sometimes I do dye my own yarn. My husband, he also helps me dye when we'll have dye days. Like if you look behind me, if I can get the camera, uh, all that fiber up there is fiber that my husband and I dye. Well, what's left of it, it used to fill up that whole bookcase. That's how much it used to be. I spun a lot of it. I have literally, this is my craft room, and it used to be like the nursery to this old house. And so all of my stuff is confined in here. My spinning wheels, my yarn, my art supplies, my a lot of my books. I do have two bookcases downstairs, two that have books on them. But I mostly confine myself to this room. And the day I start spreading out in other places of the house is the day I admit I have a problem. But as long as I can keep everything confined to this room, I think I'm good. Right now, I am plying the yarn that I spun. This is a marine Icelandic Merino cross, and the sheep's name was Foster. And I spun it into a single a couple weeks ago, and I let the bobbin rest, so it just sat there. That kind of distributes the twist a little. And now I'm plying that into a 3-ply yarn. And after I finish plying it, I'll label it, and then I'll wash it and hang it up so it can dry. I'm a pretty balanced spinner, so I won't have to do a lot of thwacking and stretching to help distribute the twist more. My yarns, I've been spinning long enough that I can pretty much tell if I don't have enough twist or if I have too much twist. If I have a section of yarn that I felt like had too much twist in it, since you ply in the opposite direction that you spun it, the longer you let it spin in the opposite direction, the basically you're unspinning it. The ply is how many strands of yarn there are. For instance, this is one ply because it's one strand of spun yarn or spun single. The more singles you have, the more plies you have. So by me chain plying or Navajo plying this yarn, I'm taking this one single and making it into a 3-ply. So let me see. Okay, so this is a yarn gauge right here. I don't know if that light is too bright so y'all can't really see it. Let me see. So this is a yarn gauge right here. So this spun single is it fits into a 20 wraps per inch. It fits into a 30 wraps per inch. So this is a fine lace weight by itself. Now when I apply it, and this is before it's washed. Once it's washed, it might bloom a little bit, but I doubt it. But when it's plied, and that's without being under tension, it's a fingering weight yarn. So it might bloom a little bit, which means it might poof up a little, but it's a fingering weight, which is a traditional sock weight yarn. But it can be used to knit anything, not just socks. People make shawls out of it. Depending on your yardage, you would choose the project that you want for that. And with this yarn, and plus a lot of my whites, we're gonna probably be experimenting with dyeing to give me a reason to actually knit with some of this stuff. I gotta this thing won't let me change my I wanted to try and back my camera out some so that I can get more of my hands in the screen, but it won't let me do it, which sucks. But oh well. I have to adjust the camera settings before I yes, I do. Use this to local friends who have custom orders, or they'll buy some fiber at a craft fair or something, and then they don't want to spin it, so they pay me to spin it for them. Or sometimes I'll take some of it up to the local yarn shop and she'll sell it. Sometimes I toss some of it in on Etsy and people can buy it there. Um, People just have to, if you on Etsy, they can just contact me and say, hey, do you have any hand spun in this color, or can you spin me some in this color or this fiber, and then we'll come to terms with that. I've also spun some friends who had pets that passed away. I've blended it with alpaca or wool, and then I spun that pet fiber for them, and then they knitted or crocheted it into like a urn cozy to go on their pet's urn, or some type of keepsake trinket, like a little sock cozy to put over their pet's paw print or something, so making yarn just isn't for making clothes and stuff. I mean, you can just, I spun some and made a little heart with a pocket on it for a friend who had one of those little heart-shaped urns for some of her dad's ashes, because the actual metal that the urn was made out of, that little mini urn was made out of, was super cold against her skin. And so I made like a little container for her to keep it in, so that it wouldn't be cold against her skin. It helped her dealing with her grief when her dad passed. And then there are people who collect yarn, just like people who collect stamps. They love yarn. They just like yarn. And some of them don't even knit or crochet or craft. It's just that's the thing that they collect, pretty yarns. What I'm doing now is, because this was a rustic wool, it still has a little bit of the grass and hay in it. So sometimes I'll get to a larger piece and I'll just pull it out. A lot of this fell out as I was plying it. Some of it will come out as when I wash it, and then some of it I'm actually just manually removing it. And it'll eventually break down and come off the yarn anyway with wear and washing it. It gives some of the hand spun, it gives it a little bit of more of a rustic look and appeal to it. And it actually looks like a hand spun yarn. Oh, you like walking down the yarn aisle in the craft show stores? Which do you spin and crochet? I mean, do you knit and crochet, or which one do you do, or do you weave? You make flowers and you're a novice. What I'm doing is I'm moving it to a different peg because this bobbin is almost full. So I don't have they don't make a woolly winder, which is an automatic winding device for your spinning wheel. They don't make it for my particular wheel. And so I have to manually move the peg each time. And this is called a pigtail. This right here with some of the yarn didn't stretch out. So now I'm just going back and stretching it out so I won't end up plying it into that little pigtail. Some people actually do that on purpose. They leave little pigtails all throughout, so they have like this little piece hanging off their yarn. I don't I don't like that. Yeah, with knitting you only have two stitches, knit and purl. It's just the way you use them. I'm adjusting the tension on my wheel to try and get this last little bit of yarn to take up onto this bobbin. I might have to manually wind it on in places. Try and get as much of it up there as possible. And what's left over, I would add to a bobbin that I've been putting the little remnants left on each bobbin. And then that'll make a remnant skein, which will end up being knit into a hat. It'll have like a bunch of different yarns that I've spun on it. Yes. And I like crochet because I'm a lot faster crocheting than I am with knitting. A lot faster. Yeah, I have to wind this on manually. It's not going on. So now I'm just gonna make some chains and then just add twist to it and then manually roll it on best I can. What is Gary's going to stream tonight? Or is he resting? Let's see. My friends who knit, they tell me that my yarn is nice. I rarely use my hand spun. I enjoy the process of spinning. I think more so than the thought of using my own hand spun to make stuff. I rather see other people using it to make stuff because they seem to get more enjoyment out of it. I get enjoyment out of actually spinning the yarn and the fulfillment from spinning it. So I've often thought about getting rid of my yarn stash and just spinning all the time. But I do enjoy making stuff for my grandchildren and for my kids and my husband and myself and friends, like, when friends are having babies and stuff like that. So I do enjoy knitting and crocheting as well. I just prefer to knit for people with my commercial yarn because most of it they can just throw it in the washing machine, and I don't have to worry about them felting or shrinking a yarn that took me several hours to create, if not several days. Can you imagine putting all this time into making some yarn, sending it to somebody, and then they make something with it and throw it in the wash machine and dryer and felts it into a ball of nothingness, of matted mess? I would be pissed, I think, if that happened. See, I got a pigtail right there. So I got to get that out. What I'm doing is I'm untwisting the yarn. Here we go. Okay. All right, so I got that pigtail out. It is very therapeutic. But just like any skill, you got to be willing to put in the work to learn how to do the skill. to build up the muscle memory, just like art and drawing. It's got a learning curve, but once you get over that learning curve and you find your sweet spot, so to say, you can get a lot of enjoyment and peace out of it. All right, so this bobbin is pretty much full. Let's see if I can get this a little bit more up there. No. All right, so only got a little bit left on this bobbin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this yarn. I always spin this out, put a little extra to the end, and then I put a little knot right here. Somebody who's going to be using it, they can always cut that knot if they think it might show up in their knitting or crochet. And so now that it's off, I'll get out my Knitting Knotty and wind it. I'm putting an empty bobbin up here. I still have like let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 3 3 3 9. I still have 10 bobbins of fiber I gotta apply. So, but so I'm putting it back on my onboard cape, which there we go. This is the onboard cape is where I can rest my bobbins, and as well, like when I'm plying, the bobbin is sitting there. That's all I have left. So I have a bobbin of remnants, which are just a little bit leftovers from other projects, and I just wind that on to there. It makes fun projects, whether it's usually my friend Ashley, whenever I give her one of these, she makes a hat from it. And you just wind it on real quick. Could have done it faster if I just put it on the spinning wheel, but I don't want to add too much twist to it or untwist it. And it's very dusty. This is a dusty process. So you end up dusting off everything after you get done and vacuuming and stuff. Because dust, especially with alpaca, is very dusty. I have to hurry up because I think my daughter gonna be bringing back the grandbaby soon, and I can't spin with her around because it's too much of a health liability. I don't want my little grandbaby to get hurt. This thing is spinning so fast that it'll easily break an adult's fingers. God forbid what it would do to a child if they stuck their hand in there. All right, so I'm gonna set the camera up so you guys can see me use the Knitting Knotty. Okay, so that's all of that. And I let this hang off so it'll be easy for me to find the end when it's time to put some more up there. So let me get my Knitting Knotty out. Let me move my camera so you guys can see me use the Knitting Knotty. So close your eyes if you get what's that word? Motion sickness. Close your eyes, children. Close your eyes. All right. So I'll put you guys back up here. Alrighty. Hey. Oh, I think this is upside down. No, it's right side up. Okay. All right. So. Okay, so to use the Knitting Knotty, this is my 2.3 yard Knitting Knotty. I just gotta put my little twist back into it. I store it like this because it can just slide up under something, or I can put it on top of the bookshelf or down below my desk. So I tighten it back up and then put a little twist right there. So I usually use my Knitting Knotty at, I don't know if you can see this, at this kind of an angle. It's kind of got like a slight little twist into it. This is PVC pipe, T-joints, an 18-inch pre-threaded and pre-cut piece of PVC. And I got end caps up there that are glued on. I got end caps on each end except for this end right here. I have a size 15 or 13 knitting needle, old knitting needle that I never use, going through here to stabilize this because of the tension that's up there, so it won't break the PVC pipe. Ask me how I know. And just talking about a holy mess. That was a holy mess. So a lot of people have like automatic skein winders and stuff like that. I like old school because I like the rhythm of it. Let me show that down some. And so basically you're going to go down, around, down, around. And you just do that over and over again until you get into a good rhythm. And then after I get done, I will count how many strands of yarn are on one side, and I multiply that by 2.3, and then I will get my total yardage. And so I just do this until it's all wrapped up here. I have a squirrel cage swift that I could use, but I just prefer it like this. So, and it's good arm exercise too. And it's rhythmic, it's soothing. I just like doing it old school. And then plus with the counting, one of my friends was like, well, don't you have any yarn counters? I have several, but I prefer this method because sometimes those yarn counters, if you have a yarn like this one has like little bits and pieces that might be a little bit bulkier or might have some second cuts in it, they kind of get stuck on the yarn counter, so you got to constantly stop. You can risk it cutting or tearing a ply. It's just, it only takes a few more minutes to do it this way. So and I saved my scraps from projects in this bag right here, and I'll take it and I'll cut it into pieces, and that's what I tie off my yarn with before I take it off the Knitting Knotty. And I usually do 2, 4, 6. I usually do 8 ties 2 on each side. And every year on New Year's, so you can mark your calendars, I do a pay it forward over on Facebook. And for my pay it forward, I have the choice of a crochet hat, crochet scarf. If somebody has a new baby, a crochet baby blanket, a lap blanket for elderly that might be in a wheelchair in a nursing home, and also skeins of my hand spun, my choice. Most of my knitting friends who stay up till New Year's to New Year's, they always choose the hand spun yarn. Some of my other friends who, because I usually do 10 people. Sometimes I do 1 or 2 more, depending on if the times are super close, like when their text, when their message went in. And then I have that year to fulfill that pay it forward. That's my way of giving back. That's my way. That's my way of tithing. And I also donate hats to Edmark Foundation. If I have a bunch of hats left over throughout the year, I'll try to donate a bunch of them to Edmark Foundation. And it's for kids who have cancer. Sometimes I'll make star blankets to donate to Edmark Foundation, and those blankets are for the parents of children who are terminally ill. Let the child get their scent on it and whatnot, and the parents can put it inside a Ziploc bag to kind of keep their scent of that child on that blanket. And because all of the stars go to heaven, right? So, and when that parent needs that comfort, they can take that little blanket out and it'll still have their child's scent on it. And if you're a mama or daddy, you know what I'm talking about. So, and so a couple times I've done that as well. It's a hard thing to think about, so I have to be in the right mindset to do that, to make those blankets. But it's for a good cause, and it's local to my area, so I know that it's going to and helping families that's in my area. I know a lot of those big charities, you don't know where some of your stuff ends up at. Some of them, the hospitals won't take it, and this is certified a particular material and stuff like that. This, I know, is going to go to someone local, help a local family in their time of need. So, all right, so it's all wrapped up. All right, so now I need to get my ties ready. I also put some of these scraps out in the spring for the birds. It's fun if you find a nest that has some of this yarn sticking out of the nest where the birds picked it up. Okay. So after I get my ties ready, I just cut. Let me see if I can point this down for y'all. All right. So this is the end. These are the ends from wrapping it on Knitting Knotty. I don't tie those together. I just lay it across like that. Lay this across down here. And I'm just going to put this tie right here. So it's easy to find the ends. And you don't have to get confused. You don't have to accidentally cut your yarn. So I just tied 2 on each. 2 on each leg. And that's all I save my leftovers, the little bits and bobs from hats and blankets and stuff. I don't throw it away. I use it for my spinning. Ugh, I don't want to stay up there. Be still. All right. No, 2 more to do. Yes, after I tie it off, I take it off the Knitting Knotty and then I count. And it also give you an idea of how much work you're going to have to put into finishing your yarn. If your yarn, like mine, will be pretty even. It won't hardly have any curls or twists in it because I've been spinning for a long time. So I'm pretty good at it. But then I just pull it off the side. It doesn't have an end cap on it. Like I said, it's under pressure. That's why I put that old knitting needle in there. So I just take it off, straighten this sucker back up so I can just put it under my desk. And there you have it. You have a skein of newly plied yarn. And go ahead and put my wheel out the way. I have this is called a Spinolution Queen Bee. It's a travel wheel. As you saw me spin it, I can spin it with just my toes. It's made to be ergonomically designed, specifically for people who may have, if you got ankle issues, knee issues, some type of joint issues, so you don't get that stair stepping motion that traditional spinning wheels have. I can spin with my toes pretty much, and that prevents wear and tear on my knees. I do have degenerative arthritis in both my knees, and that spinning wheel helped a lot. I had to get rid of my Fantasia, which I love, from Crumpsy, simply because it was killing my knees. So then I just counted, which if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be somewhere around 300 and some yards, might be in the high 200s. So 130. So that's 299 yards, and I usually subtract 1 yard, so 298 yards. So I was close. So now what I'll do is I'll make a tag for it using I use landscaper's tape because it's waterproof, and if you use a Sharpie on it, you don't have to worry about the information rubbing off, and so you can document your yarn, the type of yarn and everything. So where is it? It's over here. So I just take a regular piece of landscaper's tape, pull off about that much of it, and cut it. Don't try to tear it off. Use your scissors and cut it because you'll warp it and it'll be harder to write on. Now just clear a spot over here in no man's land, and then I write on it. I put, like, I spun this back in early August. If I'm not sure, then I'll check my Instagram because I take pictures of everything when it comes to my yarn. So if I forget, which is that happens now, I'll just go on Instagram and see when I took the picture and posted it. It depends. For me, I usually depends on the fiber and how it's spinning. Like this fiber was part of 8 ounces. So I spun two and a partial bobbins. The larger one had almost 400 yards. It's hanging up in the bathroom now. This was a smaller bobbin. So it depends on the fiber. How thin I spin it, how thin it wants to spin, the micron count of the actual fiber. Depends on how many yards I get. It's only a 4-ounce bobbin. So I'll get on a 4-ounce bobbin, I'll get anywhere between for a fingering weight, high 200s to about 308 yards. If it's a larger gauge fiber, then I'll probably get anywhere around 198 to 260 yards, depending on the fiber. I typically spin fingering weight to up to DK weight yarn. So I'll just go over here to Instagram and I'll look until I find the bobbin where I spun that yarn, and then I'll know what month that I spun it. Here it is. That looks like it. Yep. July the 5th. So I spun this July the 5th. So that's what I write on my landscaper's tape. I'll actually write that I spun it July the 5th. I plied it November. What is this? Is the day the 19th or the 20th? The 20th. So spun July 5th, 2020. Live. $9.20, 2020. It's a 3-ply, 298 yards. And it's not going to hurt to give somebody an extra yard or two of yarn. You know, when they pick their project, yes, my Instagram is She Spins as well. And so this gives them an extra yard to play with. So if they want to play yarn chicken, they got a yard or two of yarn at their disposal. So when they get to the end of the project, they'll still have a little bit left. There are people who charge them for every single eighth of an inch that is stuff. It's like it's not that serious. You know, it ain't like sheep have gone extinct yet. So, or alpacas or any other fiber animal. And so this is Foster's. And I like getting yarn, getting fiber from people where I know the name of the animals. It just makes it more fun. And he is a Merino Icelandic cross. And I put an X. We usually put an X for a cross. And the source fiber it came from, they're called sanctuary wool now. But when I bought this, it was called Homestead Wool and Gift Farm. And I usually try and buy wool for them once a year. They have really nice wool, and it goes. They save animals that would otherwise probably get put down, and they give them a forever home until the end of their days. They just sell the fiber and stuff to help to support those taking care of those animals. So, so then I just have that information. I don't know if it's upside down for y'all, but I just put that information up there. Most people who get it know it's from me. They know I spun it. Nobody else in my house being yarn. So, but my husband does die. So usually, if it's something that he died, I'll put up there died by and not his name, Dale McKent. So, and then I just tie it on. And then my yarn is plied and it's labeled. So even if I don't get a chance to wash it, I know where it came from, when I spun it, when I plied it, and you know how many yards it is. Now, if it's a yarn that tends to have a high crimp and shrinkage, then you probably would want to recount that yarn. But this yarn, I've already washed some of it and it didn't, it just stayed the same because I spin pretty balanced yarn to begin with. And so I wouldn't lose a bunch of yardage in this, but a yarn that tends to shrink back, a springier yarn like a Suffolk, or what's the other one I'm thinking of? But I don't know why. It's just I can't think of the name right now. But some of the yarns have different textures and different characteristics, and they're more bouncy and springy. And it starts with a C. I just can't think of the name for some reason. I think it starts with a C. Daggone it. It's not churro. It's something else. Can't think of it right now. But you could lose a couple of yards if it's one of those fibers that bounces back like that crimps back up and whatnot. So yeah, so that is part of the spinning process. And my test broadcast, moving my camera around, is over. Twist it into a skein like this. So like when I take it off the Knitting Knotty, it looks like this. Well, it wouldn't be tied up. I already got the tie in there, but you know it would like that. You just hold it in each hand and just turn it around with one hand. See, I'm just turning it around with one hand. And so you got a little loop on each end. Once you get it twisted enough, you just stick one end through the other loop like this. And then you just tug on it. And you got your skein. So that's how you skein it. That's how I skein mine anyway. Some people might do it differently, but that's how I do mine. And I haven't had nobody complain. And so now I'll take a picture for Instagram. camera set up. Oh, I gotta put it back because I was taking pictures of the baby. Just take a picture. I won't be trying to make no professional pictures. This is just to document what I did. Now, if I was gonna put it on Etsy, then yeah, I'd probably get the light box out or take it outside or something and try and do a better picture. But this is my happy place. This is what I do for my peace of mind. And if people have followed me for a while, they know what you see is what you get. So if somebody wants to tell me how to do something better, then I tell them real quick. If you can do it better, then come do it better. But this is the way I do it. This is what works for me. This is what makes me happy. And people need to just respect that. Everybody's going to spin the same way. Everybody's going to apply the same way. If this is your craft that makes you happy, and don't let somebody make it not fun for you because they don't think you're doing it the way that they think you should be doing it. As long as I get yarn, and as long as the process makes me happy, then that's what's important to me. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about it because they don't live here with me. They don't have my problems, and they don't have to deal with my mental hangups. And this is what puts me in my happy place. And I'm not gonna let someone take that away from me because they were taught to do it a different way, or because the book says to do it this way. That's the way it should be done. So regardless of whether you're spinning yarn, you're drawing, you're coloring, I don't care what kind of process that you're doing. You do, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you do what you need to do for your own mental health and what makes you happy with that process, because it's your process and it's as individualistic as anything else. Spinning takes muscle memory. Spinning takes years. It's a practice thing. Some people pick it up faster than others. Some people like making big bulky yarn. Some people like making skinny yarn. Some people like making art yarn. I don't like making art yarn. For me, because I'm such a methodical person when it comes to spinning, to me, art yarn is wasting the fiber. That just me. Other people love art yarn. They like making those lumps and bumps and textures and adding beads and feathers. Art yarn is their scrapbook of media. Their yarn has a story for them. My yarn, I want it to be functional and usable in multiple applications. And that's what makes me happy, making a yarn that I can hand to any knitter and any crocheter, and they don't have to say, well, there's only 30 yards of this. What am I going to do with it? And then they end up putting it around their neck for a necklace, or it just sits somewhere looking pretty. It's not even really a functional piece of art. It's just sitting around, not being used because there's not enough of it to really do a big project with. I like making yarn, and there's enough yarn in this that someone can make fingerless gloves. They could make a hat. They could probably make a hat and some small fingerless gloves. They could make a pair of socks, or they can make a small shawl. Knitting a small shawl. They can probably crochet a cowl. But there's enough yarn that there's several different projects that you could do with the one skein of yarn. They can knit a small jacket cardigan for a baby. So that's just, like I said, that's me. That's my process. I don't edit my videos. Everybody knows that. What you see is what you get. If my daughter walks in with the grandbaby, then she walks in with the grandbaby. It ain't that serious to me. I'm not here to be a TV show. I'm here. This is how I share my craft and share my knowledge with other people. They can ask me questions and stuff like that. Like I said, that's my happy place, and this is my way of showing and venting. If I have something to vent about, some of the people watch my videos because every once in a while I go off on a tangent and rant about something. There's some people who check just to see if I ranted about something at the end of the video. Nothing happened really to rant about today. The only thing that I want to know is, even though I know COVID is going on, can't y'all resync some of these traffic lights because it's Sunday. There ain't that much traffic, but yet and still, it's you're sitting at a stoplight for 5 freaking minutes and no cars are coming in the other direction. They need to fix that. They need to do something about it. You know they got smart light technology now. So why are we still sitting at a stoplight for 5 minutes when there's no traffic coming in the other direction at all? Explain. So that's my rant for the day. Somebody in Norfolk and Hampton needs to fix that ASAP. So yeah, so now I just added it to Instagram so everybody can see I made a new skein of yarn. And then I'll just go and I got a bucket already in the bathroom. I'll throw some hot water in there and soak it. Hey Ashley, how are you? You already missed it. I'm at the end of the video. I saw you caught a fish. Yeah, I saw you went fishing. Did you take it off your hook by yourself? I know. I cannot wait for this COVID thing to be over so we can all get together. But you know, the diabetic is hanging out at home. So, and y'all haven't even gotten to play with my baby yet. And she's already a year old now. No problem, Lady V. Tell your husband to behave and to toil. Yeah, I haven't had any sun, so that ring light make me look paler than I am. So I need some sun, but now it's fall, so that ain't gonna happen. My little monster. That's what I call her, the G monster. She is so grown. And she's trying to say hair. So what she does is she's sitting there and she's patting your head, but it feels like a sledgehammer. She hit you so hard. And then the other day, I wasn't paying attention to her. You're welcome. Thanks for coming by, guys. So I wasn't paying enough attention to her. And so my dreads were out. So she just grabbed my dreads and just yanked them. And I thought she had ripped out some of my hair. Oh my God, I thought she had ripped out some of my hair. I was waiting to see dreadlocks fall on the floor. She janked it so hard. So my head is still sore, like right through here where she pulled. And so now when she says hair, Grandma pays attention. Grandma pays attention. Grandma's like, yes, hair. So, and then she sticks her finger up under my glasses for eye, and she likes doing teeth. She wants to stick her fingers in your mouth and to tap on your teeth. And she takes your ear. She almost rips your ear off, tugging your ear. And it's just so funny how different she is from my children when they were babies. They say Emily is a monster. Emily is gonna be freaking 7 feet tall if she keeps growing, man. That girl is gonna be tall. So do you have a project for that yarn that I spun for you? What you gonna make? Victoria Weasley shawl. Is that like a Harry Potter thing? It's a crescent shawl. Go over Ravelry and see what you're talking about. I'm still using the old Ravelry design. They ain't gonna sucker me into using that new thing. Is it Victor or Victoria? Mm-hmm. Is it not on Ravelry? Hey, hey. What kind of trouble you up to? Did you finish getting the sheep moved to the new pasture? Hmm. The clever stitch. The cleaver stitch or the clever stitch? All right. Oh. Clever stitch. And Victor with the I. Hey, Sharon. What's up? $12. Woo, that's a steep price for a pattern, girl. You laying tiles. What happened? Usually when you end up having to do work on your house, something happened to Ah, no code. So what you do, just put in the Weasley code? So you just gonna put towel down, you're not gonna put carpet back down? And your feet gonna get cold, that means you can wear your socks all year round. But it just looks like a basic freaking crescent shawl. She striped it. And she looked like she added some kind of little weird, those little picot things at the end. You could have wrote that out yourself. And a little twirly thing. You could have found some free patterns and cobbled together your own pattern. Sure. When you gonna make some new videos? You know they got StreamYard now. It makes it so easy to chat and add people and stuff. I'm so tired. I've been up since like 4. Acid reflux came back this morning, and it is not fun waking up with acid reflux that early in the morning. What? You said you need to stay awake long enough to make a video? Sound like an excuse to me. I'm on Sleeve Island right now. With my sweater. Since we ain't doing Rhinebeck, it ain't like I got no hurry, right? Just go swim with them bull sharks in the river by your house. Yes, swimming for them sharks. You be swimming so fast you burn off all that weight, girl. Katie, I saw you was dying. Were you dying with goldenrod? Some of that. I know you said you were dying something with some kind of walnut, with the black walnuts, or the black walnuts, or the black walnut leaves. Y'all making me tired. Y'all making me yawn. Yeah, I got it retwisted today. And she put it in this braids. So the baby didn't like it. She's used to being able to pull on my dreadlocks, so she wasn't impressed with my new hairdo. My husband liked it though. So that's what counts. Oh, Sharon. Meet Katie. Katie, girl who walks with goats. Meet Sharon. Sharon is a spinner too. Sharon likes processing her own fleeces too. I bought fleeces from some more fleeces from Katie. That's what I processed one of them. I still got two more to process. And I processed that black fin sheep. Oh my god, it is so nice. It's a natural black. Where is the spindleless on? I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what I did with the spindleless on. I probably already took it off the spindle. Who knows? Oh well, it's somewhere. But it is a very, very, very nice fin sheet. And I I think I sent a email. They haven't responded on Etsy yet, so they might be, in hiatus or something. The shop that I got it from, to see if they had any more, if they could get any more of that particular sheep's fleece, because it is very nice, very, very nice. And Katie's is nice too. I just gotta wash the other one, the other two that I got this year. I washed the one from last year, so those are on my. I gotta get Dale to take my drum carder down, so I need to card the one I already washed from Katie, so I can go ahead and get started spinning that. Yeah, I think. Let me spin a sample. Well, he should know since. You just hiding from your mama, Sharon. That's all. How is she doing? She, I guess should work. I should work while I'm sitting here talking to y'all. Work on Dale's fingerless gloves. So I finished his scarf. I did it on the last stream I did last week. And so I started his fingerless gloves. This is that the tweed from oh, my mind ain't running on all cylinders today. AC Moore yarn, Stitch Studio by Nicole. That tweed earth earth something, earth tone. And yeah, this is all that's left. This little ball. I'll do his fingers, gloves. And then Marissa steal everything from him like she does every year. She steals his stuff. And I'm like, yeah. So you working on me some new socks? Are y'all working on me some new socks? Ashley, Sharon. It's your kid's job to steal your stuff. Yeah. Ashley, Mixed Plate. What is your name on YouTube? Uprooted Fibers. Ashley Lynn of Uprooted Fibers. That's my friend Mixed Plate over on Ravelry and locally. She's one of my local friends. Yeah. Yeah. Katie is Girl Who Walks with Goats, and Ashley is Uprooted Fibers. Oh, sound like the monster's about to come back down here. Maybe not. Sound like she destroying stuff. All right. I'm getting ready to end my broadcast. I'm going to end my broadcast. I just testing out these angles because one of the craft groups I belong to, they're going to be doing a craft along. So basically going to be going from channel to channel in October. And so I'm going to be doing I'll probably either knitting, crocheting, or spinning or plying if I don't get the rest of that fiber plied up, yarn plied up for my 30 minutes on the craft along they're going to have. So I was testing out different camera angles to show me plying. So that's why I was doing this live stream. And a couple of people actually stopped by. So, but I'm getting ready to go. I keep yawning. So I'm tired. I'm old and decrepit and tired. Yeah, having opposing thumbs is a good thing, Sharon. Yeah, I guess we need to start saving our money so we can flee to Canada. Run away. Tell Jason I said to rub your feet. Hey, crafting mamas, you came in on the tail end. I'm getting ready to go. I was testing my camera angles for spinning during the craft along that's going to be happening in October. I'm doing good, and you? Well, you can always go back and watch it if you're that bored. I was plying. I wasn't spinning today. I was just plying and playing around with the camera angles. You see how I wanted to set the camera up. So I applied it, and then I showed them how I use the Knitting Knotty and tie off my yarn. This simple things. And I think you should be a mod. You should be a mod, crafting mamas, for the craft along. I think I made you a mod today. Let me see. Yeah, you got the wrench. So, yeah. So I don't understand what was so hard about making people mods, but hey. Once trolls come to their live streams, they'll understand the importance of having a mod. The Marie Altier, I don't know how to say her name properly, but she's in charge of it, and mostly it's like journal making and scrapbookers and mixed media artists. And then I threw myself up in there. And basically the 25th, I believe, October the 25th. Let me see. I think it's August the 25th. Let me see. See if I can find it. How come when you're looking for something you can't find it, but before the end it was like all up in your face? Okay. Yep, the fourth Sunday in October. So I think that's the 25th. And my time slot is 7:10 to 7:40. So we got 30-minute time slots. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Roughly 10 people gonna be doing it. So I'll be doing a spinning demonstration. Probably drop spindles and the spinning wheel. And it was so easy to set up. I mean, all you had to do was go into your studio and click on your settings, and it was the top one, you know, for the to add the mods. Just go to their page, copy their address, pop it in there, hit tab, and boom, click their picture, and they're a mod. It wasn't hard. I'm gonna be busy. I'm already busy. You see all that yarn I've been making, and I've been drawing. Trying to get my drawing back. Uh, I finished my my pumpkin, my Halloween drawing. I finished it today. I was laughing. I was so happy. I was like, so I had at the Werther's candy wrapper. I put it there. So does that make this mixed media art? Because I glued that Werther's wrapper onto the page. That's what back here is the my laptop for working from home, and the monitor from work. So I have dual monitors. Yeah. So it'll be like I get up in the morning. So I'll be clocked in by 7:30. So I get up in the morning and pretend like I'm getting ready for my regular job, like going to the location and come in here and get everything set up. So what's been going on with your library knitting group? Are y'all meeting on Zoom or anything? How's Victoria? Some states are passing laws since people can't go on vacation, or not shouldn't be going on vacation, and so they're building up all this overtime, not overtime, but paid time off. So some jobs that has stopped paying for your extra vacation time, they're going to start paying for it again because people haven't been able to use their vacation time. Responsible people, put like that, the responsible people haven't been able to use their vacation time. Did she come to the Bronx? Potato chips and fried chicken. That's a weird combination of food you got going on there. And I can understand if you said mashed potatoes and gravy with fried chicken. I can hang with that. But potato chips, not so much. Y'all swore off French fries. What did the French fries ever do to you? Ah, see. Confessions. Confessions. You sound like Usher. These are my confessions. What's that? A coconut donut? A croissant and donut. Ugh. Sounds gross. Sounds so gross. I'll pray for you, Sharon, for your clogged arteries to be free of your bad habits. All right, dinner is served, so I'm outie, guys. I'll see y'all probably next week. I'm trying to do one video a week again. I need to do more so I can build up my viewership. But hey, people can only take me in small doses. I'm awesome like that. So see y'all.